So, boom, what we saying, guys? Liverpool are on absolute fucking smoke. It's got me shaken, absolutely shaken. And the sound will be coming from whatever this thing is here, cause I ain't got no headphones. I can't even find me headphones, so I apologize for the sound. I'll get some headphones. I'll sort that out. But guys, what we saying, Liverpool? Liverpool spent a lot of money. I see another clip today of Jamie Carragher talking. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We've got a Liverpool one here. Jadakiss Love. Jadakiss, top 5 rappers dead or alive. Yes or no? Yes or no, Biggs? What we saying? We are up, babe. You ain't even bought him, so relax. 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 Like a Chris Fogg, you know, Liverpool are buying the league. Listen, we have to have some critical thinking because they're losing Diaz. They've lost Jota, unfortunately. God rest his soul. They're going to lose Nunez. So that's 3. That's the front 3 gone. So then they're just left with Salah. So they have to replace that. So they're going to replace it with Ritz, Ekite. So now they've got an exceptional option here because they can bring in an exceptional player, which means they can put Ritz in the number 10 position and then have an Isak up front. But then they've still, you know what I mean? It's like for like, but the quality is up. So we need to have that in mind. Let's not lose ourselves and start going crazy because at the end of the day, that team still needs to gel. And is Salah really going to be passing that ball to Isak? Obviously, that's me hating. Big up Laka Chris and the chat. Let's go. Let's go. This is football. Laka Chris. Not critical thinking. I am a pure hater. Yes, me too. I am also a pure hater. And I hate the fact that Liverpool could get Isak. And you know what? It's just dampened all the news on the Glock. It's dampened all the news on the Glock. I am just tired. We only have kudos. Yeah, but you're Spurs, Jay. Like, you finished 17th. If you finished 5th and won the Europa League, you'd be so much more attractive. It would be scary almost because you would have had Kudus, you'd have had Gibbs White, and you'd have got another 3-4 in by now. But you didn't finish 5th, you finished 17th. So it's tougher to get these people over the line. You know what I'm saying? Like to finish 17th, and now you've got a new manager in Frank. It's all a bit mad. It's all a bit mad. Do you know what I mean? So that's why, Jay, you can't really be looking at what, you know, you've got a lot of work. You and Manchester United have just got their pool and they've got their heritage to get them over the line and to acquire certain players. You yourself, you know what I mean? It's a struggle. Look at Newcastle. Look at Newcastle. They're struggling to get players over the line. Even Man United got more pool than Newcastle. Would you have wanted Isak over the Glock? Well, you know, come on. That's a silly question. I know what Isak can bring and do straight out of the hat with the Glock. I'm hoping he's gonna smash it. Do you know what I'm saying? I know exactly what Isak's gonna do if he comes to the Arsenal. The Glock, I can see him smashing it, but Isak for me just edges the Glock, and he's a year younger. Listen, if we get all these signings through the door, the league is finished. So what you reckon it's done and dusted if you get these men through? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it'll be tough, but I don't think it's. I still not make you favourites, even with Isak. But now it's like, you're definitely going to be there now. Do you know what I mean? It's before it was like they're gonna finish 3rd. Now it's like, oh, crikey, you're gonna need 96 points to win this league. The Glock is moving like a water gun if we get Isak, but the Glock's outscored Isak. Do you know what I mean? Over the last 3 seasons, international, Champions League, and obviously you're going to say, well, one's Premier League and one's Portuguese League, but if we include the European goals and international, I'm just saying. Nah, I wouldn't put you as favourites, you know. I wouldn't. I still think that Pep Guardiola's a better manager than Slot, and he's just going to work magic with that team. I feel that Arsenal have got the bit between the teeth. I just feel like you lot have had to do a proper rebuild, and also you've got to deal with the loss of Jota psychologically. You know, as a fan base, you don't have to so much, but more so the players will, um, and that will be a factor. I think. I mean, it could also be a driving force, but I think it'll be a negative factor because it's something that you can't really fathom. To tell you the truth, you can't fathom them thing there. But I just guys, it's going to be a very good season. That's all we know. All we know is going to be a four-game fantastic season. We can't rule out Chelsea now that they've gone and purchased. Is it Hatto? Now they've gone and got the boy. They've gone and got some defensive stability. It's going to be a very good season. And if they do sell Jackson, and you know they're going to bring in someone else, God knows who is it? Simons. The team will bond for the memory of Jota to push and win the league. Yeah, but will Isak and will Ekite and Ritz and Frimpong and Kirkes all gel? Because that's a new team, basically, apart from the spine. You know what I'm saying? That's almost a new team. And more, even the spine's gone, to be fair. So you tell me, like, will Frimpong and Salah gel as well as Trent and Salah? Will Liverpool miss out on Trent's distribution and assists? Because we can't forget that, Biggs. The Greek Scouser has a tat on his hand, and the Greek Scouser has a tat on his hand, and we are pushing forward. Okay, I said the Greek Scouser, you know. What are we saying? Is Isak really going to live? Charlie boy, what are your thoughts, Charlie boy? Charlie boy. It's quite scary, but you know, I've given a critical thesis and analysis on it, and I believe that, you know, Liverpool have lost a lot of players, and they've replaced these players. I'd say every single one of them, bar um, Kirkes, let's say, and Frimpong, are not better than the two you had previously. However, they're adequate, more than adequate replacements. I just think it's going to be a lot. I think we're going to be surprised. I fall again. I fall again. I know, I can't believe it, Sammy boy. Back he goes. Oh, I would love it if he went Saudi, got himself £1 million deal. Like he'll get £1 million a week. That's the kind of the number that they're probably touting in front of him. The spine is still there. Oh, the Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk. Who? Who's Libo? Ibo. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Ibo, Salah, Mac, Cooking. But that's not. That's less than. That's a quarter of your team that is there. I'm just saying. A lot of changes have been made, and like I was saying earlier, there's a clip of Carragher saying, it's embarrassing if you have to buy 4, 5, 6 players. It was basically talking about Man City and Chelsea. And obviously, if you fast forward 6 weeks, now Liverpool have done exactly the same. Exactly the same. Yeah, I got it, bro. I got it. But remember, this is his last season, and he's also going Real Madrid next season, which again, you know what I mean, just speaks volumes. You ready to finish second again? Jay Spurs says. I don't think we will finish second. Well, you know what? There's a possibility. We could finish second though this time and win Champions League, which will, you know, should shut a lot of people up, and that will definitely suffice, and it will definitely give Arteta a lot of credit in the bank. A lot of credit in the bank to win the Champions League. That gives him another freaking finish second for another 3 years on top of that, bro. As long as and win the FA Cup and the League Cup to suffice. On top of the suffice, on top of the suffice. You haven't seen the Ibo news. What? But yeah, no. What's the news? I see something about Konate is more inclined to stay in. It's getting older, isn't he? You don't have European heritage, mate. Well, we do. We kind of do, funnily enough, because we've made, off my top of my head, Arsenal have, or in my lifetime, Arsenal have made four um, European Cup finals. So that's across the whole board. So we've made two Cup Winners' Cup finals. We made a European League Cup final, which was called the UEFA Cup, and we made a Champions League final. So, and we make it into the semi-finals, finals of both trophies. So, Arsenal have some sort of heritage, and also we're just a global brand. Ask any baller who their idol is, and it's Omri. You can't beat that. You know what I mean? We're Man said, what trophy? What, because you won the Europa League? That's a Channel 5 trophy, bro. When Arsenal was in it 2 years ago, people were calling it Channel 5. Now Spurs have won it. It's as big as the Champions League. We speak more on you than we speak more on Europa League than we have Champions League. If Liverpool get Isak, this the best transfer window we've ever seen from a team. It's up there. It's up there, but we've got to see how they perform. But I think Man City had a few good ones, and Chelsea definitely had a very good one. I'd say pound for pound, when Arsenal got Sol Campbell in on a free transfer, pound for pound, that was, best transfer window for me. Getting Henry and maybe selling Nicholas Anelka, getting Henry and Devil Shuka pound for pound again. But there's been some great transfer windows when when Chelsea got Damien Duff and Drogba and I think Robin and Carvalho, like, oof, dangerous. That was dangerous. I think Essien, mate, not Essien. It might have been Essien, to be fair. But no, that was dangerous. Some of them early City transfer windows were mad, yeah, with the year when you've got Adebayor, Colo Torre, um, was it Clichy? I'm sure Nasri was the year after. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, mad. Be honest, Chris. If this was the other way around and Arsenal were moving this mad, of course, I'll be gassed. I told you I'm a hater, but I also told you that if Arsenal were getting Isak now, let's get some light up in this team. We've got some. If Arsenal were getting Isak now on top of Gyökeres and keeping Martinelli and keeping Jesus and keeping Havertz, then for that's a madness. But you've got to replace Darwin Núñez, Jota, God rest his soul, and Diaz, who you lot was waxing lyrical about. You lot was also eating arse and telling me how Slobosai's the best number 10. Well, he's like getting dropped. So you know what I mean? It looks amazing. It looks pretty. It looks fantastic. But let's see in reality what actually happens, because you need to gel. Your team needs to gel. Arsenal have a steady team. Man City need to gel, but they've got the best manager in the world. So, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be very interesting. We won the league with a strike force, aka strikers who were not scoring. Imagine now. So you see, you're thinking childlike almost, Biggs, because you're just thinking what worked here is going to work here, and it will translate like that. That's not always the case, bro. It doesn't always translate like that. It's not always the case. So I'm just saying, tread carefully is what I'm saying. Don't get ahead of yourself, because I can sense cockiness, and every time Liverpool get cocky, you fall flat. So you know what I mean? You know what? I'm just here as uncle to tell you what I want. But I'm gonna let you be you. You do you. You celebrate. Get the red panties out, because you're treating it like the red panties are out already. You're treating it as if it's done. You're treating it as if when it does get done, the league's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you're saying to me. So, and if you do succeed, I will hold my hands up and I'll say, you know what? Absolutely unbelievable, positively flogging. Fabulous business. Fabulous. Absolute fabulous. So childlike Arsenal, man, are saying the league is wrapped. If you get no, it's not the same thing, Biggs. It's not the same. And I'll tell you why it's not the same thing. Because we're building on top of things. You're losing players and having to fit them in this team, and you're thinking it's just going to translate. No, because where he's at, he's the main man. Now he ain't going to be the main man at Liverpool because there is a main man in Mo Salah. So how do the two alpha males join together? This is what makes team sport so good, is because you don't usually get two alpha males in a team. And you know what I'm saying? That we're talking two top dogs. At Arsenal, when it was Bergkamp, Henry, Vieira, Perez, Sol Campbell, we knew who the top dog was. Henry was the best player and he was the king. But Patrick Vieira was the captain. Isn't it? And it also played in different positions, which helped. But there was no ego. But you see, when Reyes joined the club, it was a bit shaky. And Henry was kind of the catalyst for the downfall of Reyes. If we actually put the butterfly effect, if we go back to the butterfly effect, Henry was the king and he didn't want this prince that Arsenal had purchased for a record fee. He was the prince and he was about to supersede the king, because every king has his day. And Wenger was under the impression that this king would announce the new king, not straight away, but eventually, and help this young prince become a king. But Henry's ego said, no, I'm Henry VIII. I'm the king of all kings. I'm just saying. I'm giving you food for thought here, Biggs. It's not done. No team has right to win. But you, Biggs, are talking as if that's the case. Building Havertz is building his squad. Buying Havertz, and I said it at the time, was the beginning of the end of Arteta's good work. I said it then. Now look, we've had to reset. Reyes was heavy, but he was the young prince. And the king, Henry, wasn't allowing the prince to come through and take his crown. He wasn't having it. And this is what I'm talking about. Personalities and people gelling. And I know, see, Virgil's going to keep it all calm, or try to keep it calm. But you can't tell the Egyptian king Wagwan. What, you're going to tell the Eritrean king Wagwan? The two African kings? And what, do they both go African Cup of Nations? Does Ekite switch nations and go African Cup of Nations as well? Oh, please. Yeah, you know what? They could get Havertz. Havertz, they could get Isak. Take him. Take him. Just shut all over the Glockerez news. In other news, guys, Mascara, probably the world's best young defender. Arsenal have got another one. We've bagged another one. This reminds me a bit of Saliba-esque. We've done it again. I'm happy with that. It's time we start selling some players. Oh, by the way, before we go, Max Dowman, jeez Louise, what a player, and also Ethan. I know you've seen that clip of Ethan going around. Jesus Christ, looking crazy, Nicholas, we get Isak, Eze on the left, and Martinelli could back up either Saka or Eze. Bro, we ain't getting Isak, Eze maybe. But for me, if we get Eze, where does he play? Because we've got Madueke. This is what I'm saying. Arteta made some bookie moves. I would love to have had Isak. Nonri, I love you, bro. But if I had the choice between you and Isak, And Glockerez, I want Glockerez and Isak. But bro, I love you, Nonny. I'm just saying. But hopefully, Nonny, you just surprise the whole world and do a madness, bro. Something just tells me Nonny's gonna do a madness. Something does tell me that. I don't know what it is, but I just think he's gonna get a lot of goals and a lot of assists. I think he's gonna have his best output ever. And I think he's gonna quadruple his numbers previously. I just think he's gonna do a madness. I can see him getting double figures for assists and goals. He's going to be very direct, very direct. He's going to have license to thrill and kill on the left-hand side. Something that's not really being used and utilized in this country. We do a lot of cut-ins. Eze can't play wide. He's central. Put him out wide, you lose his attributes. Yeah, because one time I see him out wide, I didn't like it. And I was like, let me watch Eze carefully. But I liked him technically, very sound, very gifted. Arsenal could do with some of that. But let's see. And if Arsenal get Eze, have Arsenal and Liverpool get Isak, who's had the better window? We have to take into consideration outputs as well. So we haven't seen no outgoings yet. But we have to revise this again at the end of the transfer window and see what going on. But as it stands, Arsenal brought in Kepa, Nodegaard, Mascara, Zubimendi, and Glockerez. That's 5 players, Sterling. Liverpool brought in Ekiteke, Frimpong, Kirkez, Ritz. Arsenal have had a better window so far. You have to say Liverpool. No, Arsenal have had a better window so far. You just heard what I said. We've had a better window so far. If you get Isak, because remember you lost Trent. Let's not forget that you lost one of your main outputs of last season. You've lost Trent, bro. Let's not we're not even talking about it. We're actually sweeping it under the carpet. But you lost Trent. Who players and 2 known stars. What? No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Man said 3 who's and who players and 2 you still got to take it into account that we've had a better transfer window with the 2 who's and 3 who's and this, that, and that with the superstars. You have to look at it and go, that's sensible business. Getting Kepa for 5 mil, sensible business. Getting Odegaard for 12 mil, sensible business. Sensible, bro. Simple as. Getting Zubimendi at 53 mil. No one's even talking about Zubimendi. Scary. No one's even batting an eyelid about Zubimendi. And no one's even remembered Zubimendi and Mika Marino link up for Spain. Check. Anyway, I'm off ski. Back on tomorrow. Over and out.